and also your LaunchGood page so we can have a look, inshallah. And in today's webinar, we'll be going through LaunchGood's daily competitions where you can win up to $30,000, how to do well in those competitions, what the rules are, tips and advice from myself, Brother Zain and Brother Imran. And inshallah, we'll have an opportunity for questions at the end as well. So bear with us for just a few moments while we ask others to join us, inshallah. So currently we have representatives from Help Your Team, we have Muntada AIDS, we have Humanity Calling, Al Mustafa Welfare Trust, Human Relief Foundation, and many others. So it's so great to see so many UK-based charities joining this webinar. As you know, LaunchGood is a global platform, but alhamdulillah, the UK has performed very, very well throughout the competition so far. In fact, I believe UK charities have won around $50,000 in boosts so far. So they've been doing really, really well. Inshallah, after this webinar, we'll continue to do well and perform even better in the daily competitions. Just a reminder to everyone who hasn't already, please feel free to post your links in the chat box for your community pages, for your campaign pages, and let us know what charities you're from as well, inshallah. You should be able to see our presentation on screen now, referring to the Ramadan challenge. Assalamu alaikum. I believe we have Aiden Foundation on the call as well.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Welcome, welcome.
How are you? Okay?
Alhamdulillah, we're very, very well. So all of you should now see the intro screen on our presentation, and on the chat box, if you can just let us know what charities you're from and your LaunchGood pages that you hope to compete in the challenges with, inshallah. And we'll begin in just a moment.
Assalamu alaikum. Can we post a specific appeal, or does it have to be the community page?
It could be your campaign page. Ideally, it should be something that, you know, the page or campaign that you'd like to compete with in the challenge. So it's up to you. If you have one particular appeal or campaign in mind, feel free to post that. That will be useful, inshallah. Okay, so Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum webinar on the Ramadan challenge and how to win or take advantage of the challenge and win great prizes towards your campaign. So I'm Brother Adil, I'm from the LaunchGood team in the UK. On this call, we also have Brother Zain, who's the UK director for LaunchGood, and also Brother Imran. So what I'm going to talk you through is an introduction to the challenges, and Brother Zain and Imran will pitch in throughout the webinar, and at the end we'll also have an opportunity for questions. So if you'd like to save your questions to the end, or you can ask them in the chat box, inshallah we'll be able to get to them in good time. So Bismillah, what is the LaunchGood Ramadan challenge? Many of you might be familiar with this, especially if you've had campaigns on LaunchGood before or in previous Ramadans. But essentially, every single day in Ramadan, from the first day right down to the last day, we have two competitions that run side by side, and these get reset every day. So we have two daily competitions. One competition looks at all of the campaigns on the site and the amount of money raised in one day in a 24-hour period. And there's a leaderboard for that. But the other competition is on how many supporters a campaign can get to donate to one particular page. So it doesn't matter how much money that campaign raises, but it's about how many different people can give to that campaign, whether the amount is £1, £2, $10, £5, that sort of thing. And with each competition, there are prizes on the leaderboard. First prize every day is $5,000 for each competition. Then it goes to $2,500, $1,000, $750, $500, right down to the top 10. So everyone in the top 10 of the leaderboard gets some form of cash boost. And LaunchGood are able to provide that due to the number of donors that have subscribed to LaunchGood's Ramadan challenge, where they give a certain amount of charity every single day and they leave it for us to distribute. So if we could have the next slide, inshallah. And the next one, inshallah. This is just a bit of information about LaunchGood's 30 days of giving. And if we can keep moving on, inshallah.
Can I say something, brother?
Sorry, what was that?
Our organization, our mosque is new. This year we joined LaunchGood.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about competition. So
absolutely.
If
so
you tell us.
Yeah. Inshallah. So that will be the purpose of this webinar. So by the end of the webinar, you'll be fully clued up, and inshallah, you'll have some great tips and advice on how to do well in this competition. So as we can see on the screen, there are 2 daily competitions, one for the campaign which raises the highest amount, and another competition for the campaign which has the most number of supporters. And as you can see, the prizes range from $5,000 right down to $250 as a boost on top of the donations that you receive in that day. So what are the rules? Rule number 1 is all of the donations have to go to one particular campaign page. So if you have a community page, you need to select one of your campaigns to direct your donors or supporters to. Second rule, this is a 24-hour competition, and this is globally. So the competition starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is in the US, and ends 7 p.m. the next day. So it actually works in our favor in the UK, where the competition runs from midnight UK time to midnight UK time. So it's a full 24-hour competition, and our algorithms and our tool will see how many individual donors you receive, as well as the amount of money as well. And it is possible to feature on both leaderboards during the day. For example, if your campaign has raised, the second highest amount, but you've got the most number of supporters, what that means is LaunchGood will give you the prize for where you feature highest. So if you're first on one leaderboard, say you've got the most raised, but you don't have the most number of supporters, you'll receive the first prize for one competition, but you won't receive a second prize that day for the other competition. So you can only win on one leaderboard, and the prize you receive will be the highest depending on where you feature, inshallah. So if we can have the next slide, please. Okay, so far, alhamdulillah, we've had a number of UK charities and organizations perform really well in these challenges. So we've had a week of Ramadan, and Charity Right have won $13,500 in prizes. Faith Space UK have won $5,000. Human Welfare Foundation, Reed Foundation, Pilgrim, and Islamic Help have all won in the various boosts through these 2 leaderboards, inshallah. Now, before we go into the next section, just a couple of things to bear in mind. If you're competing for the most number of donors, it's really, really important that you have clear messaging. What we've seen with some charities is that through misunderstanding the rules or the different days, they might have sent out their social media blasts or mail shots or WhatsApp messages before the competition for that day had actually started. So it's really, really important that when you communicate to your donors, it's very, very clear. They know exactly when you're competing, so what 24-hour period, what link to follow, and also how they can get others involved. Another important rule that I hadn't mentioned on the previous slide was that for the supporters competition, the way this is counted is one supporter counts as one place on that leaderboard. So if you have one person donating twice, it still counts as just one supporter. You'll still receive the donation, but it has to be individual people. So they have to have different bank accounts and different names and so on and so forth. So no one can try and cheat the system by donating 10 times to a particular campaign. Okay, now it's really, really important that before you decide to compete, you have a team ready. And the advice that LaunchGood gives on our various blogs, and if some of you have seen our webinars previously, is to build a volunteer team. So if you're competing for, say, the most number of supporters, which is what a number of smaller charities and those that might not have the same reach as the sort of international NGOs do, it's very, very important that you build your team of volunteers. And a very simple structure to do that is to have 20 volunteers who are all going to go on and get another 20 people to donate to your page. So if you get 20 people bringing on another 20 of their friends and family to donate to your page, that's 400 donations to your page in a day. And if you perform that well, then you'll surely be, at least on the leaderboard, but with a very good chance of winning, inshallah. So it's very important that you have your team and you prepare them early on. So what that means is you ask them if they'd like to volunteer or be part of your fundraising team for that day, and also ask them to communicate with their friends and their family so that all of the donors that give on that day in the system will already be prepared to give that £1 or £2 rather than them being hit out of the blue. Because it's Ramadan and all of us get bombarded with messages to donate to different causes. But if someone's spoken to in advance, they've had a telephone call or a WhatsApp message and they've agreed to take part, it's far more likely that they'll donate on the day that you need them to. Okay, and if we continue, inshallah, I'll pass over to Brother Imran, who works with me in the LaunchGood team in the UK, to continue the webinar and talk a bit more about communication and also advertising.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Adam.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, so as you've all followed, alhamdulillah, has given us some great tips on and rules as well on how the challenge works and obviously what is expected from us. So going forward, we'll touch a bit more on about communication and how we have seen through our, advice and working with NGOs and charities within, within the industry over the last few years. So over the last 3 years or so, we've managed to work with a few organizations and we've seen the success of the Ramadan Challenge in the UK. So we'll share a few of those ideas and tips with you here today. So number one, communication in regard to your team. Now, a lot of organizations we've seen who participate in these challenges usually think, just a blast message across the platforms and across the teams would see themselves, gain the numbers and number of unique supporters to win the challenge. For us, we like to approach that differently. And I think before we consider the reach that we have on social platforms and through influencers, but we actually have the means and tools within our own organizations. And so we'll focus on that a little bit more today. Now, if we break it down, let's just say, for example, your organization, you have 10 people working within your core team. So that could be your fundraising team, your admin team, your social media team, and so on. So let's take a number of 10. And what we say is you work closely with those 10 to spread the awareness within your team. So do we have the next slide? Okay, sorry, give me a moment. I think I may have just skipped the gun there. Okay. Right, back to that. All right, so we're working closely within our team. Okay, so let's break it down. We've got 10 people within your organization, and we'll break it down into a tree. So within your 10 members within your organization, what you're saying is, we want you each to reach out to 20 individuals within your own network. So if you've within your friends, your own family, your own network of individuals, not on your socials or anyone, just people who you work closely with, people who know what you're doing, that you're reaching out to those 20 individuals. So across your 10, you're reaching out to 20 individuals each. Alone there, you've got 120 people to start off your challenge. Now, that's where we say the communication is key, because within this organization of your own platform, you're reaching out to 120 people to kickstart. Now, I think I may be looking at the wrong slides there. So what I will do, just to pass it on to Zain, who may be able to take it on from here while I get the right slides up on my screen. Apologies.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Hope you guys are all well. I am currently in London. For those of you guys who aren't here, I know there's so many guests joining us from across the world, and I see some great names of friends and colleagues, so thank you all for joining. Okay, so I am going to give a quick recap, inshallah, before we give you the secret sauce, which will help, inshallah, all 25 of you win $30,000 this Ramadan. And I am 100% confident. Some of you on this webinar have already won, but I would like every single one of you to, inshallah, win that $30,000 maximum that you can. So, Brother Adil and Imran, thank you so much for giving that intro. I'm just going to summarize one more thing, just so everyone's clear, because without you guys being clear on how to win, it's very hard to win. So I'm just going to go back a few slides to this one here. This number that you see, it says 21,741. What is this number? Every single year, LaunchGood has been doing something called the Ramadan Challenge. We've been doing it for well over 3 years now, okay? I would like to say we were first, but it's not about first and second. It's all about making sure that we're all doing good. But you can see that right this moment, this is a real-time figure that I print screened about an hour ago, 21,741 Muslims and possibly even non-Muslim have joined our Ramadan challenge. Now, what does that mean? That means that they have signed up to LaunchGood, and they've said to LaunchGood that I want to give every single day of Ramadan automatically. Okay, some of those are manual, but majority of them have signed up and they said, look, I want to give $1, $5, £10, £6, £3, whatever it is, every single day, and I want LaunchGood to take that money from me and send it to amazing projects all across the world. So that's the Ramadan challenge. That's how it works. We've been doing it for several years. Now, when I go into this part here, you'll see that this is our homepage. So whenever someone comes to join, this is how they join. And you can see here always that even today, 364 people joined. Okay, now, before I go on to tell you how you guys will, inshallah, reach your $30,000, the secret tips that we've seen, and bear in mind, alhamdulillah, UK for the last, I would like to say 2 years, has consistently beaten the US, Canada, Greece, Italy, Spain, and other countries when it comes to dominating that leaderboard. What I mean is that, mashallah, we Muslim British have taken on our friends in the US and Canada, and we have consistently beaten them when it comes to winning prizes. And that's what we want to continue. So, but let me share with you very quickly, okay, for the donor, what does it mean? When these people sign up to the Ramadan challenge, the funds that you are going to be winning, they come from this purpose that they sign up to. So they automate their giving, and they get to choose, or they get to automate it, and then they get to track their impact. Okay, so Brother Adil talked about the rules, okay? He talked about the 2 leaderboards that we have. One is for raising the highest amount. Brother Adil mentioned that it's 24 hours, midnight to midnight for the UK. This means, let's talk about the left one first. This means that if you come 6th place today on raising the highest amount, you will receive an extra $250. If you come 2nd place today, in the 24-hour period today, in raising the highest amount in that 24-hour period, you will win $2,500. And if you come 1st place today, you will receive $5,000. This is on top of your donations, okay? That's for the highest amount. On the right, the most supporters, okay? This one, is a bit easier. It's the one that we say to everyone, look, if you can't do the one on the left, you can do the one on the right. It's the easiest one. In fact, we have had organizations, brothers and sisters, who have decided, they woke up from sleep and they decided, you know what, I'm going to get a few people together and I'm going to win $5,000. And mashallah, they have blew everyone out of the water and they have won that. And I'll give you some examples of those. But the one on the right, okay, both of these leaderboards run at the same time, okay? And Brother Adil mentioned how you can't win on both. You only win whichever one you're the highest on. But the one on the right is the most supporters. So this is the organizations that get the most number of unique people. The keyword is unique. You can't have Abdul Mustafa donating £5 and then Abdul Mustafa using his different address donating £5. That will only count as one. Okay? So the rules are it must be unique. And mashallah, brothers and sisters have over the years tried to find loopholes and gaps, but we have closed all those potholes. And mashallah, we are airtight now in our algorithm. And I'm very confident to say that it cannot be gamified anymore. We're very airtight now in making sure there's no one falls through the gaps. So it has to be unique. It can be in the same household, but it has to be a unique email address and it has to be a unique card. Okay. So Abdullah from the same house cannot donate 2 times on behalf of someone else with his own card and name. It will count as one. Okay. So let's take all of those ideas. For those of us who are planning, how can I win this and gamify? Let's move all those ideas out. The solutions we're going to give you today, inshallah, will help you win this with absolutely no other side strategies needed. Okay, so to be very clear, on the left, the highest amount. In 24 hours, if you get the highest amount. On the right, the most supporters. In 24 hours, if you get the most number of supporters. Okay, that's how you win. This leaderboard resets every 24 hours for Ramadan. So we had it on day 1, day 2, day 3. And there's one right now, which I'll show you in a bit. And it's going to happen all the way till Eid. Okay. Just on a side note, we actually do this in Ramadan, Dhul Hijjah, and one day in December. I'll talk about that later on. Okay. So those are, hopefully that's very clear. Do put on the chat if that didn't make sense. But I like everyone to be very clear on this because there's so many questions around this. Okay. Brother Adil talked about this. I'm not going to go into this, but it just shows you how many organizations are already winning. This is only a small list. We've had over 56 different organizations win on the leaderboard, but I've just put down a few here. Tayyib, okay. Brother Imran talked about communication, okay? He talked about how the number games, okay? We're going to give you one solution and only one solution only, okay? This is the only solution that we have found, right? Yes, to answer your question, any 24 hours, yes. But remember the 24 hours begins, if you're in the UK, it begins at midnight, okay? So wherever you are in the world right now and listening, you have to convert your time. For UK midnight, for US, it's 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so wherever you are in that time, your 24 hours begins that time. Okay, but you know, so for some people, it begins for them at midnight. For some people, it begins for them at 7 p.m. So it's different times. But the way that the challenge is done is UK midnight to midnight. Okay, okay. We're going to give you one solution, and we are. In fact, you know, I'm very confident that if you guys employ the solution, you will win. Now, the beautiful thing about the UK is that we're so nice and polite to each other that we actually have a list of all the organizations who are taking part in different days. And some organizations have been so kind enough to not compete on days that other people are competing. Okay. So after this call, if you aren't on that list yet, get in touch with Imran, Adil, or myself, and we'll let you know who's competing when and what dates are free so that you have no other competition from the UK. But however, that does not mean that someone else won't wake up in the morning and decide to compete. And that does not mean that the US will not be on our trail trying to beat us. Okay. However, so, you know, pick a day, pick 2 days if you want, 3 days, 4 days, whichever many days you want. The maximum that you can win is $30,000 from the leaderboard. Okay. Right. The solution. Okay. And I want, inshallah, everyone to listen to this carefully, because you will, at the end of this webinar, you will probably think that doesn't sound, you know, that doesn't sound smart. Neither does it sound secret. It seems so simple. And the reason for that is it's absolutely so simple. However, I have seen organizations with 300 volunteers fail. I have seen organizations who have individuals who have 20,000 followers fail. But yet I've seen individuals with just 5-6 people in the team win. In fact, yesterday, Ita Relief, mashallah, they came second, right? Very small team of 8-9 people, they came second. I see other organizations like Charity Right, 2-3 people, and they're winning, okay? Because they follow this kind of methodology to the team. Okay, so the solution that we want to present to you, right? And the reason we always want to share this is because we want you to win. It's something that we call a branching method, okay? So the first thing I want you to think about is step 1 is planning, right? You must plan. Whether you plan 2 hours in advance, 3 hours in advance, 10 hours in advance, you've got a plan, okay? Step 2, right, is in that planning, the first thing that you need to do is list down your most core team members, okay? Now, what is core team members? Core team members are those people that if you bug them at 3 a.m., 2 p.m., 1 p.m., whatever it is, right, that it counts. Those people will respond to you, okay? They won't ignore you. I'm not talking about you sending a WhatsApp message to 50 people and 30 people of those ignoring. They're not your core volunteers or friends, okay? Even if they are close friends to you, I want those people who, within the 24 hours, you guys can go on a WhatsApp group and every single one of you will go back and forth messaging and messaging and messaging, and not a single person will be annoyed, okay? First thing I want you to do is list those 10 people, okay? Now, if you have 10, okay, soon as the clock in the UK strikes midnight, the competition begins. The first thing you have to do, step 1, is your core team members have to donate their money, okay? So we're talking about the most supporters here, by the way, right? Now, they do not need to donate £10, £20. They can donate £1, £2, £3. It does not matter what amount they donate, as long as they donate after 12. Okay, so I recommend that they donate about 12:05, just so, you know, some people get trigger happy and they donate at 11:59 and it doesn't count. So 12:05, you get your core team members to begin their first donation, right? That gets you, if you have 10 people, 20 people, that gets you your first 10 and 20, okay? Now, the second step is those same 10 people, those same 15 people, or those same 20 people, you ask them to get a list of 20 people ready. Now, I always say this to all, you know, my LaunchGood team and others. I always say, look, if you don't have 20 friends and family members who are going to respond to you and do something for you, you need new friends, right? I always say this to everyone. If you don't have 20 people who are going to, when you say, listen, I really want to win $5,000 for our charity today, and I just need you to donate £1, or I just need you to donate £2, and they don't respond and you think they're your close friends, you need to get new friends. That's what I say to my team, yeah? Okay? And I'm really sharing with this because I want you guys to make sure that you have the people who are really going to be behind this, okay? We don't need 300-400 people WhatsApp message. We just need those 10-15 people first. So step 1, we get our 10 people ready, or our 15, whichever your core team member is. We get those core team members to donate. Step 2, we ask those core team members to message just 20 people and get those 20 people to donate. What do we have now? Let's begin. We said we had 10. So that means we had 10 donations. Those 10 people went and got 20 people each. What do we have? We are now on 210 donations. Okay? And guess what? We haven't even sent a broadcast message out. We haven't even put it on social media. We haven't even shared it on Telegram and WhatsApp stories and Instagram. So we haven't even bothered most of our contact list, right? Step 1, your main 10 people, your main 15 people. Step 2, you get those people to only go out and get another 20 people. Bear in mind, at this point, even they don't share a broadcast message. Now, why do we not share a broadcast message, and why do we leave it as the last thing? So then step 3, I'm going to tell you is, that's when you reach about 5 hours before the close or 6 hours before the close, right? You start sending broadcast messages. Now, why do we leave that to later? I'll share with you why. Imagine, you and your core team members, let's say you have 10 of you, you all donate at midnight, and then you go to sleep and you wake up at 10 a.m. And imagine you send a broadcast message to 250 people on your WhatsApp, right? You've already reached out to them. Now you're going to feel guilty. Oh, how can I message them again? They haven't responded. You actually don't know who's responded and who hasn't. And so now you're left, you've exhausted your WhatsApp list. You've exhausted your Telegram list. Half of them haven't responded to you. And now you're stuck because you now need 100 people to win. and you don't know who's where. So what I say is, look, leave the broadcast till the end, okay? Step 1, get your 10 people. Now, even then, what this slide here seems so basic, but you see this tick? This tick is your most important emoji for the next 24 hours of your competition, okay? In your 24 hours of this competition, this emoji tick, right? If you don't know how to get it, you go on your WhatsApp and you simply type in tick and this comes up. We call it the green tick, okay? That's all it is. It is what it is. This green tick tells you that you have reached the next person. Let me explain to you how it works. I send a message to all of you, 10 of you, and I say, Assalamu alaikum, we're taking part in the LaunchGood Ramadan challenge. We can win $5,000 today. Please donate £1 on this link and send me a tick when you've done. Now, if those people don't send me a tick, I will assume they haven't donated. If they send me a tick, then I will count them off and I will not bother them again. Now, first step, I do that with my 10 people. They all send me a tick. I know my team members have done it. Now, let's ask a few 1 or 2 questions here, right? Imagine at midnight, I send it to my team members and they all send me a tick. But then I look at the leaderboard and I see 3. So something's already gone wrong. So this tick methodology allows you to say, okay, hold on. You guys have all, team members have said, all of you done it. This allows you as the lead of this team to say, guys, I know you've all said done it. Please make sure you've done it because I can only see 7 on the list, but 10 of you have said you've done it. Okay. This allows you to break it down bit by bit. So number 1, your team members, get them to donate, tell them to send you a tick on this WhatsApp group. Make a WhatsApp group with your 10, 12 people, get them to put their tick down saying I've done it. That's step 1 then, you've got your 10 donations. Get those same 10 people to go and get 20 people. Their friends, their mothers, their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, their uncles, their aunties, right? We, especially those of us who are Asians, mashallah, this challenge is probably the easiest thing that we have, right? Because our families are so extended, mashallah, this should be so super easy. Those 10 people, they go and get 20 people. Same way, what do? They take your message, they send it to 20 people, they say, Salam, I'm taking part in this Ramadan challenge with LaunchGood. I need to get 20 people. I've chosen you as one of my 20 people to donate. Please send me a tick when you're done. Now, what that person does is that person comes on your main group and they say, yep, I've got 3 people. I've got 4 people. I've got 6 people. And they just put down, the first name or the tick saying, I've got these people. Now, that's how you get the first 10 and then you get to 210. Now, 210 is about 70% needed to win. On most days, and I'm going to share with you very shortly, on most days, the average win is about 400 or so to get first prize. Okay. Now, how do you tip it over from going from 200 to 500, 600 and more to win? Okay. Now, the rest of it is relied upon you trying to use those 20 people that your core team members reached out to, or your social media and the viral method. Okay. When we're at 210, you start using your social media. Okay. And obviously you can do this much earlier on in the day, right? You start using your social media. You get those 20 people, okay? Those 10 volunteers, those 10 team members who reached out to those 20 people, you say to them, look, would one of you like to come and help get just 10 people? Okay. Now, if of your 10 volunteers, you've reached your 200, imagine 5 of those come forward and say, you know what? Yeah, I'll share it for you. I'll share this message for you. I won't get you 10 or I will get you 10, but at least what I'll do is I'll share it for you. Now, let's do the chain. You got your 10 people in step 1. You got 210 in step 2. Okay. Right. And I'm not good at maths, right? But I believe, if those 200 people that donate £1 share that message, right? My maths is very weak here, but it sounds like a lot to me, right? It sounds like that message is going to a lot of people who will be donating £1 or £2 or more and helping you get those unique numbers up. That is it. There is nothing other to this, which is a secret, which is some kind of a theory that there's hidden in terms of winning, right? It's really as simple as executing that strategy, right? Step by step, making sure that you don't skip to step 3 or 2 before you've done 1, okay? Because if you can't get your own team members to donate first, how will we convince their friends and families to donate? And if we as team members can't get our family and friends to donate, how will they convince other people out there in the public to get behind us and donate. So this is really built on, you know, having a loyal network, having a good team, and having people who have that passion to help us get to the top and win. Now I'm going to go to the next one, next slide. So this is ads, okay? Now, some brothers and sisters they take it even a bit further, okay? Some of them do it intentionally, some of them don't do it intentionally, right? Now, what some organizations do is whenever they're competing, what they do is they do some ads as well to help them, okay? So they might go on Facebook and they might put in an ad. So here's 2 ads that you've got, right? So these organizations that might be competing in the challenge, and so they do an ad which links to their page, right? Now, I mean, this, I'll be honest with you, you don't need to do ads to win, okay? But if that's something that you wish to do, by all means, you can do it and you can link it, okay? Remember, any person who comes directly to your page is counted. Let me explain what I mean by that, okay? So here's the leaderboard, okay? And I'm going to explain the 3 parts to you in a bit. Now, unique donors are counted by link. So if someone comes to LaunchGood and then they see your campaign and they donate, that will not count on this leaderboard. The donation will still go to you, but that will not count on this leaderboard. Do you know why? Because that was not through your effort, rather it was because they stumbled on the page because of LaunchGood. Similarly, if someone reads one of our newsletters and then comes onto your page and then donates, that won't count. So the only thing that will count is your link. So this is why it's really important that when you tell people to donate, that they use your link. Now you'll probably have a link. So you guys have shared some of your links here. I'm just going to read somewhere out. So launchgood.com/cataract, launchgood.com/orphans guardian, launchgood.com/Ramadan burial. All of these are your links. You just make sure that every single person, they click on that link and they donate. They don't go to launchgood.com, then look for your project and they donate, because that's not going to count. These unique links, right? They're the best way to make sure that they're counted. Okay, you see 3 leaderboards here, okay? The first one here, you can ignore, that's to do with points. So remember earlier on I talked about how 21,000 people have joined the Ramadan challenge. These people are doing it, and every time they donate, every time they do something on that challenge, they get points. So as you can see, I'm very weak here. I'm 21th on the leaderboard. Make dua that I can reach the top. I get nothing for it except rewards from Allah, inshallah. But of course, you can see Imam Khalid Latif, mashallah, 103,000. That means so many people have joined because of him. And then you've got other people here. So these are your 2 leaderboards, okay? So I print screen this. I did a print screen on this, I think about a couple of hours ago. Now you can see, this is today, Ramadan day 10. And you can see that the challenge ends in 7 hours, 43 minutes and 45 seconds. That is midnight for the UK. All right, so wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to see this. Now, have a look here. Today, in most raised, the person who's at the top has raised $17,000 already. If they remain at the top in 7 hours from now, they will win $5,000 extra. And then it goes down, right? And you can see some people, they're here at the top, but they're not here at all, okay? Because they might have had 1 or 2 people give a bigger donation, okay? So this is for the most raised. This one's for the most support. So today you can see, mashallah, sisters team 683. This is Fund Nikhil. Nikhil is a UK organization that looks at women's dawah. And mashallah, look, sisters are really doing brilliantly. They've got 683 unique donors. Second place, 144. That's Charity Right. Okay, so 144. The US in third place, 142. UK 121. UK. So mashallah, you know, I always love looking at this because it's UK. It's very much dominated. So 70% of this leaderboard already today is UK. Like, have a look at this. Second place right now with just 7 hours to go. Second place is only 144. Right? It's so easy to get 144. In fact, if one of you really wanted right now, and you had a team of 20 ready right now, and they could get 10 each, you would be on that leaderboard to win 2,500 before midnight today. Okay, so this is the leaderboard. I'm just going to show you just an example of yesterday's one. So here's yesterday's one. So just to give an example, so look, yesterday's one, top winner ended with 546. So today's winner, it's already on 683 as top, but yesterday, the winner won with 546. Second place, 380, Itar Relief, third place, and so you got Islamic Help is there and a few others, okay? So that's really the theory in terms of how to win the competition. Okay. Now, what we'll do is we will kind of open up to some questions. But just before I do that, one of the things that I really want to make sure that you guys understand is the competition runs every single day. But you cannot compete every single day because your volunteers will get tired. Your donors will get annoyed. Okay. What you want to do is you want to be adaptable. So if you say, you know what, I want to compete on Wednesday or Thursday, okay, you get your team together, you go full speed ahead and you really try to win. Now, let's say you want to compete again, that's fine. But you've got to make sure that, you know, if your team didn't win that day, you have to try and kind of be smart enough and think, okay, you know what, we came third, we didn't really win first place. Let's regroup, let's remotivate everyone, and let's do that again. Okay, you've got to be smart about this. It's not about hammering your donors every single day, trying to win. You need to be conscious of that. You need to make sure that they don't get annoyed with you. However, the Ramadan challenge for LaunchGood Ramadan is quite well known right now in the UK. So, you know, I think it's quite easy for you guys to get those donors. And of course, our team will be behind you. Okay, if you have a challenge day, you can make a group, you can add us, and we will obviously, you know, we can't go get donors for you because we're not, you know, we have to be neutral to everyone, but we'll donate ourselves. We'll give you our £1, £2, whatever you want. And, you know, we'll promote it on our social media for you. Right. But ultimately it's down to your team. It's down to you to get those 20 people, and so on and henceforth. So with that being said, I will open you up to questions so that we can end on time. We are on track. But if there's any key questions, please feel free to come on voice or the chat and ask those questions. But I would really like to see some of you. Some of you guys have never taken part in this competition before. We'll help you as much as we can. But you may look at these numbers and think, oh my God, how can I do 546? You have to trust us, right? It's super easy as long as we plan and we do our best, right? In fact, it's fun. You know, we're on some of these groups and it's so fun because we see everyone hyped up. And bear in mind, check this out. If you get onto this list, do you know what happens? Not only do you win those 5,000, 2,500 donations, but you also get all those other donations. I'm going to give you an example of an organization called Ikhwa. 3 days ago, they did the competition. They were looking to win top prize. MashaAllah, they had 1,500 donors. They raised £8,000 just in donations, and they won $5,000. So that means in 24 hours, they got 1,500 donors. You know, that's new donors for themselves, and they raised just close enough to 15,000. It's amazing. And it's just 24 hours because they rallied everyone together. So few questions. Can we compete every day? Yes, you can compete every day. However, I don't recommend it because number one, your donors will get tired. Your people will probably get annoyed with you. It will probably affect some of your other campaigns. So I wouldn't recommend every single day, but yes, you can. But the maximum you can win is $30,000. Okay. So when you've reached your $30,000 from this leaderboard, we will not let you win again. Reason why? Because we want to make sure, remember where does the $5,000 come from? Where does the $2,500 come from? Remember earlier on, I talked about people who signed up to the Ramadan challenge. It's from here. We have donors who have already committed their funds, and they've said to us, LaunchGood, we want you to give these out. Now, 3 years ago, we used to give that out very randomly, right? We used to give it out to anybody and everybody, right? Because we didn't know how to create a way. But mashallah, we've created this system where through your efforts, you can earn the donors' funds. Second question, does offline donations count? No. Everything in these leaderboards has to be online. It has to be something that's fair and trackable by us as a system. Unfortunately, offline donors and donations, we can't count, right? Because, you know, there'll be so many disputes. Someone will say, look, I have a donor, We can't prove any of it. The only thing that we can prove is when someone clicks on your link, your unique link, and donates through that. That's the only thing that's trackable and countable for us. And we can only do that real time as well. Bear in mind this leaderboard. I'm going to share with you my screen actually. 1 second. I'm going to bring this up and share with you my screen so that you guys can see. 1 second. So, okay. So here I am on the LaunchGood homepage, right? So you can see these are campaigns. Now I'm going to type in launchgood.com/Ramadan. Now, if you cannot see the leaderboard, that means you haven't signed up to our Ramadan challenge. Okay, so because can you see I've signed up? That's why I can go straight in. And on the left, I can see Ramadan homepage. Mashallah, it's a beautiful homepage our team have got together this year. You can do dhikr here. You can click on this and do dhikr. You can obviously see all the campaigns that we have today featured. You've got questions around zakat. You've got this. This is the most beautiful part, and we'll end very shortly. But here, this is a live stream, which means that you can actually see all the different people across the world giving, instantly. So you'll see here, it'll come up. And then as you go down, you can see the leaderboard. Obviously on the left, you can click on Ramadan, you can click on top. When you click on top, you can see the leaderboard. So if you can't see the leaderboard, that means you haven't signed up to a Ramadan challenge. We are placing the leaderboard on the homepage, but that will only take place in a few days from now. I think Adil can touch more on that. So that's how you'll be able to see the leaderboard. And you can see right now, it's active and it refreshes every hour, okay? So the leaderboard refreshes every single hour. You can simply come on here and every hour you can refresh it and it will automatically refresh and it will give you the real-time update on where every organization is. Have a look here, just before I pass it to Brother Adil to finish, have a look here. Right now, for you to win $1,000, you just need 147 as of this minute and there's 6 hours left, okay? Okay, Jazakallah khair. Thank you for listening to me. I know there was a lot of information there, and I know I give loads of different analogies. It's just to make things very bite-sized for you guys, to make things easy to understand. I hope that was helpful, and I hope that helped understand just how easy it is. And believe me, we are behind you all the way. As Brother Adam mentioned, my focus is Europe and UK. That I look after the Europe and UK. So whenever I see Europe and UK on the list, I tell my colleagues in the US to stick it. And I really enjoy seeing the UK on the leaderboard. So, please come forward. And if you do want to take part, and if you are taking part, reach out to us. We will help you. We'll advise you as much as we can, as best as we can. And inshallah, the chances of you guys winning are very much there. If we don't have any more questions, I'll pass it back to Adil. Jazakallah khair for taking the time to come on this webinar and to listen to us.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Zain. So that's it. It's as simple as that to win the competition. So just a quick summary, 3 things. Get your campaign ready, get your team ready, and pick the day that you want to compete. Inshallah, if you engage with us, speak to myself, Brother Zain, Brother Imran, we'll be able to support you and coach you through that day and in your preparation. Inshallah, by the end of Ramadan, we'll see a whole lot more UK and European campaigns winning prizes and doing really well in the boost. So with that, we'll end. And inshallah, if you do have any further questions, do reach out to us on WhatsApp or email, and we'll be happy to help you. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brother Zain, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Is there a link for the webinar?
For this one here, so we've recorded it. So inshallah.